Caitlin Clark was assaulted yesterday in her very first playoff game in the WNBA.
Dejanay Carrington brutally assaults Caitlin Clark in her first WNBA playoff game. So everybody right now is mad at Dejanay Carrington.
I'm not pissed to the point where I'm annoyed and I'm going to call people out their names, or especially people that I love, like the person I'm about to talk about in a few minutes. She struggled with physical defense she's faced at the professional level and voiced frustration with the league's officiating, recently telling reporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with." That's what Caitlin Clark said, that it was a cheap shot. It was not a basketball play. She should have been ejected. Number one. Number two, there should have been a fine that was incurred thereafter. Number three, not to say that there won't be or hasn't been at this moment in time, I don't know of one. I know the team was fined for media availability purposes because people weren't available to talk.
Is Caitlin Clark being hammered and targeted? Of course she is. That goes with the name and the status she brings. Everybody is trying to make a name for themselves every time they play against her. So of course, they're going to do this little chip shot. Look at what happened to Kennedy Carter. Look what happened to Kennedy Carter. We didn't know anything about her previously, at least the casual WNBA fans. We didn't really know Kennedy Carter had game like that. So watching Kennedy Carter after the Caitlin Clark incident, people start realizing, damn, she got game. Other players are seeing that and trying to make a name for themselves, which is a fair harming Caitlin Clark in the process? No, it's not right. This gonna keep happening to her, especially now it's playoff time. Playoff time, even in the NBA playoff time, that's when stuff gets serious. So the defense is just gonna get more intense. Plays like that, the eye pokes, I do not condone, bro. That's not a basketball play, and I'm kind of surprised that wasn't called a foul.
It's important that we point this out. One of the things that I brought up this morning in talking about Caitlin Clark is that some of the players, you want to use the word jealousy, fine. You want to use the word envy, fine. And because of her box office attraction, it's generating more eyeballs to the WNBA product, therefore more revenue for the WNBA product. Don't you think y'all are going to benefit from that too? Look at the big picture. That's what I was talking about when I was talking about it this morning on my day job, First Take on ESPN, every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. A rising tide raises all boats. Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote savior. If she's the golden girl, milk it. If I remember correctly, Caitlin Clark signed a $28 million endorsement deal. Well, nobody in the WNBA getting that. Nobody's gotten that yet but her. Asia Wilson is the superstar in the NBA. In the WNBA. She's a two-time champion. This girl is legit. The kind of stuff that's happening and has been happening over the last few months is because of Caitlin Clark. I got some of the stats in front of me to validate it. Because you see, I bring receipts. And I'll get to why I'm really pissed off in a few minutes. Highest rated draft in history because of Caitlin Clark. WNBA TV ratings for this season. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know it skyrocketed? ABC announced it had its most viewed opening weekend doubleheader ever, with two games combined and an average 1.5 million viewers. That marks a 143% increase from a WNBA doubleheader on ABC a year ago. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that?
The reason why this arena is packed right now is because of this one lady right here named Caitlin Clark. Your viewership, your revenue done went up because of this lady right here. So you'll need to protect your investment. You know, she's bringing this crowd. She's bringing this views. This the main attraction. So if she gets hurt, you're gonna lose all that. It's not like the fans are like 50-50. The fans are siding with Caitlin Clark.
She's the real deal.
But you're letting this assault, quote unquote brutal assault, happen and occur. Eventually she's really gonna get hurt. Then your revenue is gonna go down.
But damn it, in the first 2 minutes of this game, this Dejanay Carrington stabbed Caitlin Clark with her fingernails right in the eye.
So she's just going past the ball, boom, swipe down. Was that intentional or unintentional? I'll leave it up to you. Let me know in the comments. But that was kind of lackadaisical and lazy for Miss Carrington to do on defense. That's kind of like, you can't just do it. That's not really a basketball play. I will have to agree with Caitlin like that. That's a cheap shot. You should never want to just swipe your hand like this when you're contesting a shot or trying to deflect the ball, you know, because you're swiping in the person's face. So it's the same thing when somebody put their leg underneath your leg when you're shooting a jump shot and they end up rolling their ankle. So you want to give the shooter space to land. Same thing goes with the face. Like, that's a cheap shot. So her swiping like that, I do not agree with it. That should have been called at least a flagrant foul, to be honest with you. Because boom, swipe. Like, nah. Like, that could be her whole season right there, you know? I don't know about ejection because I don't know what her intention was, but it looked like she was going for the ball and swiped down accidentally. Could be giving her the benefit of the doubt, but that was a very lazy defensive play. I'm not going to lie.
Do you think that had any impact on the game? Do you think that your meal ticket should be stabbed in the eye intentionally on the court 2 minutes into the game and there's no problem here?
People saying the league is racist to white people. The WNBA could not be fumbling this situation any worse. More viewers than ever because of one player, and they continue to let her get assaulted on the court while purposely not using her to promote the sport. It's baffling, really. So watching this video, the comments said they need to ban eyelashes and fingernails. Which is, yeah, everybody should go there naturally. You know, all the fake lashes, you know, they shouldn't wear those in games.
No foul call. There was no real discussion of it on the ESPN broadcast. ESPN wrote a story after the game that did not mention that the biggest star in the history of the WNBA, the first woman to ever be the biggest star in American sports, was assaulted 2 minutes into the game on a dirty play with one of these women with these long fake fingernails that stabbed her in the eye.
So after the eye poke, you can tell her game changed. She went on and scored 11 points and went 3 for 13 from the three-point line. This wasn't a good game from Caitlin Clark after the situation.
It's not worthy of discussion. I read this ESPN story to Alyssa Thomas had a triple-double and so-and-so scored X number of points and the Connecticut Sun knock off the Fever. And I'm reading the story, I'm like, where's the mention of the fact that the Michael Jordan of the WNBA was assaulted?
Yeah, the fact that that wasn't headlined is kind of crazy. But at this point too, I kind of get why ESPN and all the other social platforms are not advertising it, because going back to the Kennedy Carter situation, a lot of fans started sending death threats, assaulting like really violent things, sending nasty things to her. So she was getting really negative attention. Was she deserving of that just based on basketball? No. That's why I go back to this situation right here with Carrington. So why these platforms are not really advertising it is because to protect the player.
Caitlin, could you tell us a little bit about your eye, the head, if it affected you, how it affected you, and through the rest of the game? Thanks.
Yeah, obviously got me pretty good in the eye. We struggled to get stops at times, but also like the clock getting messed up. It was just one thing after the next, but yeah, overall, like, it didn't bother me. Obviously, it didn't feel too good when it happened, but it is what it is.
Political correct answer to say you don't want to blame nobody, you don't want to put anybody in a bad light, but realistically saying it, that wasn't a basketball play. You can definitely tell her game changed after the eye poke.